Hi everyone. So today in this presentation, I'm going to talk about lymphatic system. I'm going to talk about lymph nodes, its structure, and what are the functions of lymph. So I have a question for you guys. Whenever you go to the doctor's office, you might notice the doctor checks something behind the ear in the neck region. Why do you think the doctor does that? And do you notice this kid, his right leg is swollen? Why do you think it is? This condition is called as elephantiasis. I will come back to the slide later. So now coming to what is lymph. Lymph is derived from a Latin word. It is called as colorless. So lymph is transparent and slightly yellowish fluid. And lymphatic system is like a drainage system that removes excess fluid from our body. So, and also lymphatic system is a subsystem of circulatory system. So here you can see the heart. The arterial system is carrying oxygenated blood, and deoxygenated blood goes through venous system, gets purified, and then gets back. So we can see that blood is always under pressure in the arterial system. So what happens is there are tiny pores that are formed. I'm talking about this structure over here. So there is plasma that leaks out of these cells. This plasma is nothing but called lymph. So not just the plasma, but very small proteins are also oozed out. Not the large proteins, but very small proteins. So this is called as lymph. So very thick vessels are called as lymph vessels. You can see that lymphatic is collecting in the vessels with the walls, and these are the lymph nodes. So swollen structures you can see are called lymph nodes, and this is the lymph trunk, and then it goes back to the venous system and then to heart. So venous system. So now coming to what happens exactly here. So this lymph, if it, suppose imagine that there is lymph buildup in our hand. So if it keeps on increasing, our hand would be swollen, but that's not happening. Why is it not happening? Because whatever excess fluid is there, it is going back to the system to get purified. So now what are the lymph nodes? Like I said, these kind of swollen structures are called as lymph nodes, which are seen all over our body. So lymph nodes are small oval bodies enclosed in fibrous capsules, and lymph nodes contain phagocytic cortical tissue adapted to filter lymph. Like, I want to give you guys an example. So here, in whenever the plasma is oozing out, what happens is there might be a bacteria also that is entering the lymph. Now, what will happen? The lymph actually has a function. It filters as well as it kills the microorganism. It is phagocytic in action. There is specialized bands of connective tissue called trabeculae that divides the lymph node. Now, structure of a lymph node. I will explain about this in detail in my next presentation, but I wanted to give you guys an outline. So there are a lot of afferent lymphatic vessels as compared to efferent lymphatic vessels. Outer fibrous capsule can be seen. There is inner medulla and cortex and sinus. So now coming to lymph nodes, there are millions of lymph nodes all over body. Like lymph, so one thing I want to tell you guys is I have said that lymph has a function that it can kill microorganisms, but cells like cancer cells, which are toxic, if they are spreading, they spread fast through the lymph nodes. So there are some things which lymph can't filter. So in that case, what happens is the infection spreads. So what happens is whenever there is an infection, any kind of infection that passes, the lymph is not able to clear, what happens is it accumulates in the lymph nodes. So there is a swelling. And any time there is a swelling in the lymph node, like it is the first sign of infection. So doctor is actually checking the neck lymph nodes just to see if there is any infection. And here it is the accumulation of lymph in the right foot that is causing elephantiasis. So now coming to functions of lymph. So one is it filters, it clears the lymph, preventing the spread of microorganisms, and we know that it has phagocytic action of macrophages, and they also produce antibodies through the activity of B cells. I'm going to talk about T cells and B cells in my next presentation. And one more point which I did not include here is it also helps transport fat into bloodstream. Like it doesn't just transport back the fluid, it also transports the fat. So I guess you guys understood why the doctor is checking the lymph nodes here. You got an overview about how the lymph travels back to the system and what are the functions of the lymph. So in my next presentation, I would be talking about in depth about the structure and what is T lymphocytes, what are B lymphocytes, and what are their functions. Thank you guys. I will leave a quiz below in the description box, and whoever comments the correct answers and requests a video, I'm going to make a video on it. Looking forward to your answers. Thank you.